In this video, we're going to learn how to solve this math problem. So we are going to do it using two methods. The first using model and fraction, and the second using only fractions. A furniture store has equal numbers of study desks and chairs. After selling half of the number of chairs and some desks, they are left with 2/7 of the furniture. Question: what fraction of furniture sold are desks? So let's draw our model. Right, so the first one will be the chairs, and the second the desk. Right, so we are told that after selling some chairs, half of the chairs, and so half of the chairs will be sold, right? And some desks, they are left with 2/7 of the furniture, right? So 2/7 is what is left. Right? So if we were to take 7 units as the total number of units for both chairs and desks, we cannot draw our model because 7 when divided by 2 is 3.5, right? So we cannot draw our model. So what we can do is to multiply 2 to both the numerator and denominator, right? So we get 4 over 14, right? So 14, of course, we can divide it into 2, 7 each, right? But then we are faced with the same problem because half of the chairs are being sold, right? But 7 divided by 2 is 3.5, so we cannot have a 0.5 for our chairs. Right, so what we can do is to try to multiply 3 now for both the top and the bottom. Right, so we're going to get 6 over 21, and immediately you can see that this is also cannot be used, right? Because 21 divided by 2 is 10.5, and we cannot have 10.5 for the number of chairs or desks, right? So the next thing that we can do is to try to multiply by 4 for both the top and the bottom, or numerator and denominator. So we're going to get 8 over 28. So now with 28 units divided by 2, the chairs and the desks will each have 14 units. Right, and 14 units, half of them, half of the chairs will be sold. That means we are going to have 7 units here and another 7 units here. Right, so let's label this part as the sold part, and this other 7 units as the left part. Right, so now we know that 8 over 28 is what is left, right? But 7 units of these are chairs, so what is left for the desk is actually 8 minus 7, or 1 unit, right? So for the desk, the model will have to be drawn like this, and this part is only 1 unit, and of course the remainder will be 14 minus 1, or 13 units. Right, so again I will label this part as the sold, and this small part as the left. Right, so now we are ready to answer the question. We want the fraction of furniture sold that are desks. Right, so we can see here the total number of units for the sold, all right, is actually 13 plus 7, or 20 units. Right, and out of these 20 units, 13 are actually desks. So the final answer will be 13 over 20. Now let's try to answer this question using only fraction. Right, so we are told that 2/7 is what is left. Right, so what does this mean? This means the fraction that is sold is equal to 1 minus 2 over 7. So this is of course equal to 5 over 7. We are told that the half of the number of chairs are being sold, but it will be a mistake to take 5 over 7 minus 1 over 2 to find the fraction of the desks that are being sold. Right? This cannot be done. Why is that so? It is because this 5 over 7, right, this is a fraction of the number of chairs and desks that are being sold, right, over the total number of chairs and desks. But half is actually the number of chairs that are being sold, but over the total number of chairs. Right? So you can see that these two fractions are actually based on two different things. The first one is a fraction of the total chairs and desks, whereas the second one is a fraction of the total number of chairs only. Right? So we cannot do this operation because it is akin to subtracting two numbers where you're having two different units. Right? So we have to convert this into something similar. Right? So if you were to remember our model, simple model for the chairs, half is sold and the other half is being left. And for the desks, they have the same number. Right? So actually I can do this. So half of the chairs, all right, is actually also equal to 1/4 of the total. Chairs plus desks. Right? So we can do this now. 5 over 7 minus 1 over 4. Right? So this will be correct because both fractions will be based on the total number of chairs and desks. Right? So if we were to calculate this, I believe you're going to get 13 out of 28. Right? So what is this fraction? This is the fraction of the desk that is being sold over the total of chairs and desks. Right? But the question asks for the fraction not over the total number of chairs and desks, but only of the furniture that is being sold. Right? So the last step will be to take 13 over 20 and divide that by 5 over 7. Right? So this will be equal to 13 over 20 multiplied by 7 over 5. We're going to get 13 over 20 just like before. For your practice, go to the link that is given below. Right, click on the new problem button to get a new set of numbers for the question. And then after you have done the problem, you can check your answer by clicking on this. This is for the first method using model as well as fraction, and the alternative answer is the method using only fraction. Okay guys, so thank you for listening and have fun.